promo, we get right into an exhibition match. It wasn't a real match, so it doesn't count against their win-loss record. Very similar to the Lights Out match, which Britt Baker would bring up. Did not count against her. That was not a loss on her record because it wasn't sanctioned. This was an exhibition match. Cody Rhodes versus QT Marshall. Arn Anderson as a special referee. Let's talk about this. What'd you think?
Saving for the fallout for a little bit later in this conversation, right? The idea of this exhibition, first of all, was just kind of okay. I mean, I will give it credit. It took an otherwise boring moment of QT Marshall and Cody Rhodes, who gives a shit, into what's this going to look like, right? Exhibition match, This is, at least it was a tweak, but it was all to set up something that I don't think anybody ever saw us coming. I'll say that.
Yeah, I definitely didn't see the fallout being what it was. Now, going to the match, I think my biggest gripe that I have was, I understand when Cody said last week, hey, if I get the figure 4, I'm not going to break your leg. Obviously, if you're wrestling a friend, that's good. And that would be what you would say if you were wrestling a friend. However, we know that Cody is friendly with some of the wrestlers that he has wrestled in AEW. Darby Allin is a friend of his, right?
Yep.
But you know what he'll do? He'll hit him with Scorpio Sky
wasn't
right. So, but what I was going to say is, if he gets the crossroads, he hits it on Darby Allin. He doesn't do this whole, well, I can't. So this idea that you have this like tug on your heart to do a move to your friend, I'm not buying that.
Nobody feels that way for QT Marshall.
I mean,
nobody feels that way for QT Marshall.
Yeah, that I don't
know the guy who plays QT Marshall. I don't know what his fucking name is, and I'm sure he's a great guy, and people love him.
QT Marshall.
People love that guy. But this guy, nobody. There's nobody. No, none of those characters have given me any reason to think that they would like, this is my ride or die, the QT Marshall, right? In the world that we're watching, in the universe that is AEW, nobody cares. Who gives a fuck?
You might want to clip that, because let's get to the fallout. So, QT Marshall rolls back into the ring and just gives a good old how's your father to Arn Anderson right in the jaw. Arn Anderson falls over like a ton of shit. How's your father? Yeah, we'll go, how's your father? You know what I mean? Like, hey, how's your father? Arn Anderson falls over like a ton of shit. And then Cody Rhodes is like, hey, what the fuck? QT Marshall goes to the stage to leave, to exit. The rest of the Nightmare family, missing probably 38 other members that were not accounted for this night, get into the ring. QT Marshall still has his back turned. And then all of a sudden, we have Aaron Solo, Nick Camarado, and Anthony Ogogo, which those are fun names to say, by the way. All saying that together.
Yeah, except like, I know we make this joke about like the Nightmare family having 40 folks, right? There's so many you can't name them, but they picked the guys I probably couldn't name. Like outside of Nick Camarado, I think just because he has that very unique look, like I couldn't recall the names until you just said them right now.
Well, Anthony Ogogo I know of because of two reasons. One, he was their first ever signee to the training. Like he's their first project. And two, I was aware that he was a silver medalist in the Olympics in boxing. So he's a legit guy. It's not like he's just walking around, oh, I'm a tough guy. Like he's a legit tough guy.
You're tuned into like that world, so you may not be the norm here. And I was just kind of like, a bunch of the Nightmare family dudes.
Well, and Aaron Solo, the only reason I know of him is because he just got dumped by Bailey, reportedly. So that's the only reason I know of him.
Womp.
Right. So let's get into this. So now it looks like QT Marshall is going to be leading a stable. And so let's just shelve that just for a quick moment, because what I want to share with you.
Shelve it for more than a quick moment.
Well,
yeah,
totally okay with that. But what I want to get your opinion on is AEW now has been in business 2 years, correct? Maybe a little over.
Long? Has it really been that long, man?
Maybe under.
Yeah,
we're in that.
We're in the second year or past. Yeah, we're somewhere in there, right? Yeah, it's been going on.
We're in that time range, right?
Yeah,
and we have had Sean Spears say, go fuck yourself, Cody.
Yep.
We had MJF say,
Go fuck yourself, Cody.
go fuck yourself, Cody.
Uh-huh.
And now we have QT Marshall saying, go fuck yourself, Cody. What I want to eventually see is, hey, maybe Cody was the fucking asshole here that MJF and Shawn Spears and QT Marshall really didn't fucking like. Like, that is eventually the story we have to tell because so many of his friends fucking hate him.
Cody is toxic.
Yeah. These guys are turning on him, not because they're bad. It's because this guy fucking sucks.
Cody is toxic. Hey, look. Hey, it shouldn't need be said, but we like to give PSAs here on the Spanish Announce Table. And this here is the Spanish Announce Table. Public service announcement. Don't ever trust the intentions of somebody who gets a fucking tattoo like that on their neck.
Oh, man.
Decisions are not being made well by this brain. You should steer clear.
Especially at this age. It's one thing to say you got it when you're 16 and maybe you got kicked out of the house and you're living on your own at your friend's house and sleeping on a couch. Okay, shit happens. Yeah. But when you've established your name and are about to have a child, and before that you get a neck tattoo, maybe your decision-making is not the best. So,
yeah,
I think we need to do one of two things. As I mentioned, we either need to turn Cody heel and say, like, that was the whole thing here, or we need to have Cody stop having fucking friends, because we can't do this with every friend he makes. They all turn against him. It's too much. We can't have, if this stable of Aaron, Nick, and Anthony and QT takes on Cody and the captain in the Nightmare family, and the captain turns on him. I can't do that.
Like, listen, okay, so all right. So let's say, all right, Cody's got this thing where he's like, I'm gonna get these young guys over, and that's what we're gonna do, and that's what this Nightmare family is, and he's drafting like, let's get ways to get you in a storyline with me, and then I'll help put you over a little bit, and that's awesome. That's great, but you clearly have an idea. And you keep doing it. And somebody needs to clue in and be like, Cody, maybe we should try this idea.
Well, let's get into that before we talk about this stable. This, to me, which I put on our Twitter account at Table Show, is the same fucking story that we did a couple weeks ago where MJF turned on the Inner Circle. Now, circumstances were different, right? But the genesis and the root idea of the story is the same, where one guy is jealous of the veteran. It was MJF is jealous of Chris Jericho, so he's going to turn on him, create his own stable to take out that stable. This is QT Marshall is jealous of Cody because he keeps taking his spotlight, and so he's going to create his own stable to take out Cody. It's the same fucking thing.
Yeah. It's proximity as well, is that, so what you're saying is true, but even the one before, the MJF turns on Chris Jericho, had so many more layers and complexities that when you back it up and it's not that deep and not that layered, the very next week is a problem. This is okay if you do this 3 weeks from now. I don't think we go, didn't you just do this last week? And you still get some of this, like everybody's in a faction, but I mean, you're right. Faction allows faction warfare. People are going to have friends, and it allows more people to get on television at once. So I understand that, and it works. It's easy. People get it. Like, my friends are going to beat up your friends. So, and that's a statement. My friends are going to beat up your friends.
If I had friends, they would beat up your friends.
Tom, you ready to beat this guy up?
I'm your friend?
Yeah.
Aww.
You're the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of you listening / watching at home, you're our friend as well. So yeah, it feels like a lot, and it feels like, what's he gonna do? He's gonna come out and be like, I'm QT Marshall, and this is the Fuckwads, and we're here to beat Cody's ass, and everybody's gonna be like, who gives two flying fucks? Like, what? This reeks of like last minute, like, oh man, we got to get that. What are we gonna do, guys? What are we gonna do? How about this?
Yeah, I don't know if it reeks of desperation so far early on. Now we'll see what happens next week, and if they just go like what you just said, we're the fucking men, and you're like, okay, well, all right. But if they have some idea and story, maybe this was planned out a little bit more ahead of time,
dude.
However,
here's what I want. I'm gonna book it. I got it. Right. This is Tim's story time. Right. QT Marshall is going to come out with the Fuckwads, or whatever their name's going to be, and he's going to say, you all don't understand the true meaning of the Nightmare family, because let me assure you, this family is a living nightmare, and we're going to expose it, and we're going to show you how nightmarish it is to be under the rule and the mental mind games of the evil Cody Rhodes, right? And now we build up, he's claiming Cody Rhodes is this sinister fuck, and we're all like, nah, right? And Cody's like, yeah, no, that's stupid, you shut the fuck up, right? Like, and we're kind of like, what, right? And kind of slowly get us there. Awesome. $5 right now, Tom says that doesn't happen.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Mark it, because it might. If it does happen,
Bitch,
you're
it
the
might.
smartest man. Yeah, bitch, it might be.
Bitch, it might be.